of Season 5 of The Paper Thing, now with sound. Thank you, Slinkermeyer, for letting me know that the sound wasn't working. It should be now. Right, so it's a full paper show. I'm going to start with The Sun, then I'm going to be moving on to the Daily Star, which will be a speed round covering the Daily Star in 30 seconds or less. Then the Times, and then the Daily Mail. So sort of a classic show. Tomorrow will be a magazine special. Don't know what the magazine's going to be yet. So if you want to throw into the paper fund and be one of the people who chooses the magazine or magazines we cover, brilliant. So yes, is anyone in the chat? Yes. Slinkermeyer in the chat, Recursive Rose in the chat, another TT viewer, and Academy Impossible. Hello, thank you for being here. I'm going to get started with The Sun. Oh, I like that emote. I don't know what it is. Is it like a... It's just like a cool purple-haired goth creature. Alright, so... I haven't even got my papers in the right order. It's a real shit show today. Vid encoding overloaded as well. Oh, great news. It's all fun times here. Right, start with The Sun, then the Star, then the Times, then the Mail. Might shake up the papers next week, try and do a few more, a wider selection. Yes, hello. Yes, it's back. It's back and it's going. Right, so starting with The Sun. Front page of The Sun. Obviously, they cover the reshuffle. Queen Liz in, Raab is out, writes Harry Cole. Then we've got more weird obsessional stuff about Harry and... Just taking personal rim out of the shot, so...
I can move.
No, it's just so you can enjoy being on the sofa without having to be on camera the whole time. Well, anyway, fine. More weird obsessional stuff about Harry and Meghan. Now we know who wears trousers in this marriage. Basically just built on the fact that she stood slightly in front of him in the picture, which is just, you know, the inbuilt misogyny of the British media oozing out there. Hey, Bad Motivator, ahoy, good to see you, thank you for being here. Main story is a completely ludicrous tabloid story. Once again, Ronaldo getting a lot of coverage recently that doesn't mention, you know, the sexual assault claims. Exclusive, what a to-do, Ron. Again, referencing a 1950s song. At this point, the Sun's references get older and not an obscure one, but still. And the headline, Man U. Apparently, Ronaldo had to move to his second mansion because sheep were barring so loudly that they were keeping him awake. You know what should be keeping him awake is the accusations of sexual assault. Right, moving on. Oh, Graham 4313. Hello. I'm delighted to hear it's your first time watching live. It's sad to hear that you're in bed with COVID. I hope it's not too bad. And I wish you a speedy recovery. On page 2, a newborn giant panda twin cuddles up to its mother as she cleans and pampers it. The mother is called Juan. I don't know what the name of the baby is. Anyway, there you go. There's a panda. That's nice, isn't it? On page 3, that isn't page 3, but is page 3, former soap starlet, it says here, Wallace Day trades Hollywood for hot pants after shooting a movie with Mark Wahlberg. She posed in a leopard print shorts following her stint in a sci-fi action film Infinite. Wallace, 26, first found fame playing Holly Cunningham in Channel 4 soap Hollyoaks between 2012 and 2013. Right, there's a story about Norfolk here. Apparently, a road called Cockshoot Dyke has been banned from Facebook because it's too rude. The peaceful stretch of water called a dike is popular with locals, holidaymakers and anglers, but Facebook says the name is too naughty and its algorithms have even classified it as hate speech. This is because the algorithms are quite clumsy. Facebook, the Sun knows this, but like, let's just keep doing these stories. Incidentally, I mean, there's a road just outside of Attleborough where I grew up, just down the road from Norwich, called Slots Hole Lane. So I think Facebook would have some real problems with that. Good afternoon, Mark Canosis. We missed you yesterday. I had to make off-colour jokes in your stead. just snuck in a tiny column on page 2. Charlie Elphick, who was jailed for sex assaults on 2 women, has been let out of the open prison near Tortworth, Gloucestershire, where he had been residing. But what headline does the Sun give it? Naughty Tory sex pest free. Sex pest. C122, H122. Why not cover the Ronaldo allegations? Well, because they remain still allegations, and because the Sun wants Man United access to Man United, basically. Thank you, Mark, for subscribing at Tier 1, and thank you for having subscribed for 9 months, currently on a 9-month streak. Much appreciated. Yes, exactly. The Facebook rude name of a place thing is like the old Dick Van Dyke, Jerk Van Gay story. Exactly. Sex pest, fuck off. I know something might, and we cover this constantly, don't we? If it's, hello from the very dull business factory, says SK the Crusader, and hello to you here from the discourse mines. On pages 4 and 5, one Duchess goes to work, one Duchess goes to woke, and the headline, airbrushed. So Kate Duchess of Cambridge, went to Bryce Norton, and the Sussexes are on the front cover of Time magazine, and the Sun has become like that guy who does the green lines, the meme of like whether the woman is tilted towards the man or the man is tilted towards the woman. They've become like that. Literally, Meghan Duchess of Sussex is pictured slightly in front of Prince Harry, and that apparently suggests that he's under the thumb or whatever bullshit, misogynistic shit they're pushing. Pat Nine Horse says, some sheep, funny road name, slow news day, good job Social Security hasn't been slashed once again. Yeah, exactly. And in a tiny column on page 5, squeezed in next to these non-stories, setback for Duke on a rape case writ. Prince Andrew was a step closer to being hauled before a US judge in a sexual assault case after the High Court agreed to serve papers on him. Fuck you, Andrew. Won't be happy till we see him in an orange jumpsuit. And on page 7, more of this pointless Ronaldo story. Wasn't like this at Juventus is the strapline. Ron hits the bar. Sheep shock ace moves into Cole's old house. So he's moved into a house where Andy Cole used to live. SK the Crusader in the business factory doing a business. Pages 8 and 9. Boris swings axe in big cabinet reshuffle. You'll find that most of the papers go with this axe analogy, very lazy. The headline here, in Liz We Trust, also a headline used by The Guardian, although we're not covering that today. And they say of Gavin Williamson, Gav down Lav. And there's a picture of Nadine Dorries going. On page 11, which is page 3 today, for the purposes of the Sun's needs, Naomi Campbell wearing some pants and a bra. Trevor Kavanagh, the awful Trevor Kavanagh, says, a brutal display of authority by a PM at the height of his powers. What reality are you writing from? King United 2, orange jumpsuit is a strange way to spell guillotine. You start with the orange jumpsuit, you end with the red. Never mind. Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries, that's correct. Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries. Graham 4313 says, Andrew, hopefully we'll get another free flight to the US. Yes, hopefully a one-way flight. We're saying that they're struggling for news today. Well, one of the old familiar tabloid stories has now made it into the paper today. Loch Ness Monster, Nessie spotted from China. First ever Loch Ness Monster sighting from China has been reported. Wyoming Jiang spotted Nessie 5,300 miles away in Jiangsu City via a webcam. Shut up. On pages 12 and 13, more pictures from their weird NHS awards. Rod Liddell is awful. Of course, he writes about the Nicki Minaj thing. Of course, he writes about the French. And he writes about beans. And it's just awful. Irina Shayk, the Russian beauty, is pictured in a grey skirt and bra. So, yeah, whatever. On page 17, second day of anarchy on the roads. With more op action from Extinction Rebellion, and the headline blockheads. Eco-activists blamed for M25 pile-up. Woke cops blasted for not tackling mob. Woke cops. In fairness, a reshuffle is just repositioning of the same old arseholes. Yeah, in the newsletter that I wrote this morning, I said same clowns, different seats in the clown car. Do check out the newsletter, and actually, if you do me a favour today and share it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, it'd be massively helpful. On page 19, more Emma Raducanu coverage. Raducanu wants to be a billionaire, they say, based on basically nothing. In Simon Boyle's Bizarre, some people wearing clothes. Kylie back in Australia, and more on Machine Gun Kelly nearly getting clattered by Conor McGregor. On page 23, they're back talking about Shamima Begum, and this time angry that she wore a vest and a hat and some nail polish for her interview with GMB yesterday. The headline, they go, Begum, dumb and dumber. IS Terror Bride has Love Island makeover, begs forgiveness, but Saj says she's a liar. Last night, Health Secretary Sajid Javid, who was Home Secretary, revoked her British citizenship and effectively sentenced her her infant child to death. Let's just not forget that. Said, if you did know what I knew, you would have made the exact same decision. A classic move by ministers, which is to appeal to secret information that we're not privy to, but definitely proves they were right. Pantomime Horse says the Sun using its pull to try and discipline police conduct the same way it disciplines the political sphere is pretty scary. Well, it's done it forever. Can both lose from the Machine Gun Conor McGregor fight? Yeah. That would be great, yeah. In the latest Guinness Book of Records, there is longest dog ears. A dog has 13.4-inch ears. We stand a big-eared dog. Yes, the dog is called... What is the dog called? Lou. So there you go. On page 27, Mum Kate Harmon is happy kidding around. Despite having 3 of her 5 children while using contraception, she fell pregnant with Charlie, now 20, while on the pill. After having Alfie, 14, and Stanley, 8, she went back on it and then had Lottie, 7. Hubby Dan had the snip in 2015, but she still conceived Buddy, now 2. I feel like there's something going on there. Flappy Doggo, excellent doggo, dog-eared copy of the Sun, says Mark Canosis. Big-eared dog stain, says C122, H122. Piers Morgan was made TV host of the year at the 2021 Trick Awards. TRIC. What are the Trick Awards? Anyway, of course he's delighted. They have an interview with Jamie Lang, who says, yes, I was that posh cheating idiot, but strictly revealed the real me. Made in Chelsea star and how he shed his lovable rogue persona. Right. And he has a book out. So that's why he's in there. In the TV reviews today, they review Celebrity Master Chef and... not JD Lang. Jamie Lang. Katie Lang would be better. The Help is on Channel 4 at 9 p.m. It's a new drama from Jack Thorne, starring Jodie Comer and Stephen Graham. It is about the impact of COVID on care homes. I'd say that'll be a laugh a minute. All Creatures Great and Small is on at Channel 5 at 9 p.m. if you're near to death. Patrick Kilty, 100 Years of Union is on at 9 p.m. on BBC One because, you know... Actually, I think Patrick probably did quite a good job about that. But anyway, it's about what the future of Northern Ireland might be. And on Channel 5 at 8 p.m, Nick Knowles' Big House Clear Out. If you really, really, have literally nothing else going on in your life. R.D. Lang, even better. Joke doesn't work. I was thinking of R.D. Lang. That's double R.D. Lang mentions in there. In Dear Deirdre today, his jailbird ex comes to our flat and won't leave. Is it sad to still bed hop at 63? Go for it. I'm ashamed of my female alter ego. Don't be. And banned from grandkid is just spiteful. And in the Deirdre photo casebook, Eddie's wayward girlfriend. Eddie's on the phone to her while she's off having a threesome. In Fab Daily, have bushy eyebrows had the brush off? Yeah, maybe, who cares? Lisa Scott Lee says, I live and work with hubby 24/7, but we always keep business out of the bedroom. Who is her husband? Her husband, Johnny. Johnny Stentor Lee, who she runs a drama school with. Okay, there you go. In the motoring section, they review the Fiat E Ducato, a white van, an electric white van. Today in the paper, in the letters, Terence Armstrong writes, how right boxer Anthony Joshua was to call our amazing health workers the true fighters of 2020. Speaking at the Sun's Who Cares Wins Awards on Tuesday night, he added that boxing takes... This one's definitely written by a Sun writer, isn't it? Absolutely made up. Jay from Plymouth says, climate change protests are stopping essential items getting to stores. Protesters should go to work instead of disrupting. John from Hertfordshire says, shortly, Shamima Begum's life is now in danger after she had to answer some of the questions put to her on GMB yesterday. And Chris writes, how can Boris Johnson increase NI contributions then allow the NHS to advertise for managers with salaries of £270,000? Sajid Javid needs to justify his position as health secretary and tell them no. Yes. Yeah, I guess. What? Who gives a fuck? Or it's more complicated than that. Protest is supposed to be disruptive. Yes, these people do not get the point of protest. And that is why they're delighted that Priti Patel, still in place as Home Secretary, will soon outlaw all protest. Today's ugly trousers available to you. It's classic stretch denim, available in light blue, black and charcoal. For the person who never wants to ever have sex. Just £18 per pair. C122, H122. Wonder if John voted for Brexit, which is disruptive to supply chains. I wouldn't be surprised. And in the sport, hen party. Jordan wins another AC comeback thriller. Liverpool 3, AC Milan 2. That is the Sun today. Awful from end to end. Real classic thin stuff trying to fill a paper. Particularly the ridiculous Loch Ness story and the sheep thing. 1, 2, 3. Quadruple negative nice from Slinkermeyer. Jordan Henderson for the win, so C122, H122. I suspect a Liverpool fan. Right, so +1 for the Flappy Doggo. Yeah, the Flappy Doggo was excellent, but you know the Sun had no real hand in that. All right, so we're going to do by the way, if you hear chopping or boiling or anything like that, it's just context. That is a person in the room making a delicious dinner, which is good. Sun is shite is the rating from C122, H122. Well, if you've seen, I'll show you some shite now because it's shite in a different way. It's the Star, an excellent front cover, but inside, unremitting dog shit. Right, so we're gonna go. We're going to... minus 69 inches of dog ears, says Mark Canosis. Right, so I'm going to try... This is going to be stupid, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to do the Star in... I was going to... in 30 seconds. Creditor, minus 97 for each person the Sun claimed Liverpool fans murdered. Yeah. Mark Canosis, one of Bob Marley's less successful singles. Sun is shite. Yes. Right, here we go. I mean, this is possibly completely mad, but let's give it a go. 30 seconds to do the Star, and here we go. Front page of the Star, Clowning Street Massacre. They've got Gavin Williamson dressed as a clown, and the headline for their Nicki Minaj story, Hunt for Buster Gonad. Oh, hang on. I set that to 30 minutes. I'm going to start again, because 30 minutes is, very easy. I could do the Star in 1 minute. Right, here we go. 30 seconds starting now. Front page of the Star is they've got Gavin Williamson dressed as a clown, Clowning Street Massacre, the story about Nicki Minaj, Hunt for Buster Gonad, and they've got Elon Musk claiming that aliens really exist, and more claiming that the protesters are Tarquin. Inside a pastry Star is Daisy. Nicki versus Piers is on page 5. They've got the cabinet reshuffle. They put Raabed for the job. More on the protest. More boobs, more boobs, more boobs. Some pandas. The Guinness Book of Records. And in the sports, perfect hending. Jordan wins it as Klopp's men survive big scare. That is your Star. I did skip quite a lot. It's sort of cheating, but you didn't miss much. Yeah, there you go. Predominantly boob-based stories in this Star. Pandas are good. That is a fact. Front cover of this Star is decent, but that's all the Star ever managed. Do not be fooled by these funny covers. The Star is still as toxic as ever inside. It's basically the Sun with an even cheaper dictionary. Right, time for the... we're going to do the Times now. Markinosis could do the Star in 1 second. I've no doubt. Boobs, boobs, and more boobs, pretty much, yeah. And all the stories from the Sun just done even more down market. Right, so now we're moving on to the Times. I'm going to do the roll call first, though. I am the Broken Bottle Boy, aka McRae. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy, on Twitch at Useless Conquest, and join the Discord and all that kind of stuff. I'll do the links later in the show. In the Mod Squad, calling in from the Work Factory, it's SK the Crusader. He is an excellent streamer, and if you're not following him here, you should be. And we've got, I'm doing some streams with him in the near future, but I'm sure he will tell you what he's got coming up later in the week as well. In the chat, Academy Impossible, another TT viewer, Bad Motivator, the excellent Bad Motivator, C122, H122, always a great contributor to the chat. Chris McRae is here, hey. Dan La Rosa, good to see you. Fluff Weasel, excellent name. Gethin Wyn Jones, Grey M4313, calling in from the sickbed. Thank you for joining us, and as I say, I hope you get well soon. IVAF is here. Kin92, always good in the chat, as is Chronotherm. Oh, pleasure to see Mark Kenosis back. We did miss you yesterday. Morin Skell is here. Hello. Pantomime Horse, always a good contributor to the chat, as is Recursive Rose, and the ever excellent Red Tick C. Slinkermeyer. Again, you know, the chat would not be the same without her. As I say almost every time, do check out her photography on Instagram. Well worth looking at. It's really wonderful. The Royal Flush is here, and Wavy Caligula. Thank you also for joining the Discord recently, Wavy Caligula. Appreciate it. Do share terrible articles you see in there. That's what it's there for. It's a support group for people suffering the British media, and in fact the media worldwide. SK the Crusader is on tonight at 6 o'clock for GeoGuessr. Always love a bit of GeoGuessr. Fluff Weasel's first contribution in the chat. Thank you. Imagine being replaced with Liz Trust. And thank you for your first contribution in the chat, Wavy Caligula. You know, appreciate you being here. Okay, so Mark Kenosis was attending the Royal Music Society annual conference yesterday. He's a land of contrasts. Okay, here we go. Just have a little bit of mustard. And remember, you can do things like highlight your chat or make me stand up properly or make me drink water, although lest I'm not going to down the water like I had to do yesterday because there was a bit much. So anyway, here we go. Yes, you could do that by hitting the button at the bottom in the chat and redeeming some. Yes, thank you, Rich. Redeeming some Herzogs. Okay, here we go. The Times, front page of the Times. They're still obsessed with Emma Raducanu, and the obsession with how much money Emma Raducanu is going to make continues. God, my hair is so fluffy because of the humidity. Deborah Ross says, my problem with recipe books, absolutely just tedious. Main story, Johnson wields axe in cabinet reshuffle, standard, more of that. Mark Kenosis says, I will give you 80,000 Herzogs to eat a coin. No, thank you. Red 60 is not going to spam it today. Good. Kin92 redeeming hydrate. Which I appreciate, actually, because I'm thirsty as AF. Thirsty as AF. Thirsty as fuck. On the bottom of the page, jab passports in pubs, dementia drug hope, Korean missile test, Powerlink blaze, Liverpool win, thriller. And on the right-hand side of the page, absolute dog shit sketch from Quentin Letts. If you want to read something that's actually good and funny about the reshuffle, why not read my newsletter? Way better. Still waiting for the newspaper hat, Herzog. I'll add it into the options. Okay, right, let's get inside the paper. On page 3, birthday boy Harry is Times cover star. They're weird about that. Queen's race sources have best year because the Queen really needed another £460,000. We want more Britishness on TV, Minister tells broadcasters. This is John Whittingdale, who was sacked as a media minister today, so that worked out for him. But when he talks about Britishness, they're literally talking about stuff like Only Fools and Horses, Fleabag, etc. So essentially, as friend of the stream, Nish Kumar said on Twitter today, just say white, if that's what you mean. On page 5, submarine pact with Australia against China. China wants its own... Australia wants its own nuclear submarines. Oh yeah, and Derry Girls. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, Derry Girls, notoriously British sitcom. TV makeover of Rice's Bride, but she's still a threat, insists Raabed. That's the Times, being just as insidious as the Sun, but doing it with a bigger word count. On pages 6 and 7, new title softens blow for Raab on day of unexpected brutality. This, like, cheeky photo of Nadine Dorries honestly makes me want to projectile vomit. On page 8 and 9, trade champion Truss out to show Brexit can work. This is Times here. Abject propaganda. Look into the details of any of the trade deals she's done, and you'll find that they are either worse than or worse than we already had when we were a member of the EU, or fucked up in some way or other. It's complete farce. C122H122 says, you mean London Derry Girls? I mean London Derry Girls if I was on the BBC. Patel survives to fight another day. Good, as usual, that they find one of the many pictures of her looking deeply sinister. Licence fee critic Dorries has brief that covers BBC. Critic, she's a maniac. Kinney92, but Mick, the new pork markets. Apples. We import too many apples. High Court to notify Andrew of sex case. Got that again. Duchess meets heroes of the RAF Kabul airlifts. Greatly timed for the papers also slagging off the Duchess. Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Show jumper suffers 2 blood clots. Champion show jumper fears she may never ride a horse again after suffering extremely rare reaction to the Moderna vaccine. Well, these reactions are extremely rare, but the papers report them in extensive detail. Red Tixie doing a classic Liz Truss line there. That is a disgrace. Sex cases. He's a fucking paedophile, says Slinkermeyer, which of course has not been proven in court yet. But, yeah. Pages 12 and 13. Javid keeps door open for pub vaccine passports over winter. Winter's going to be a shit show. Great M4313. Why doesn't Pretty Patel use her married name? Because, like any woman, she's not obligated to. I'm not even sure she took her husband's name when they got married. She may have done. At the launch on Tuesday night of the poetry anthologist Ali Esseri's latest collection, A Poet for Every Day of the Year, Helena Bonham Carter was asked to read out her favourite verse for it. The actress went for a short one by Dorothy Parker, telling Lackey Jack that she had, Lackey Jack being Patrick Kidd's deputy on the Times Diary, who he thinks it's funny to call Lackey Jack, that she admires the acid-ton American because she didn't take any crap, not even from her lovers. The poem One Perfect Rose sees Parker react with weary resignation to a gift from her boyfriend. Love long has taken for his amulet one perfect rose, she wrote. Why is it no one ever sent me yet one perfect limousine, do you suppose? I know it's always just my luck to get one perfect rose. They repeat the story about Ed Balls getting lost after a reshuffle. Climate protesters return to 125, they say. Magical shows celebration of cheery ingenuity. That is the review of the summer exhibition at the Royal Academy. That gets 4 stars. Ninja Tech lets troop control enemy drones. American troops stationed at RAF bases in the UK are using technology that can electronically take command of an enemy drone and turn it back on itself. The Ninja system, negation of improvised non-state joint aerial threats, someone worked hard on that acronym, overrides the hostile drone's command system and sends new instructions according to defense firm Leonardo. According to them. This is just printing a press release from a defense firm. Hundreds thrown out of military for cocaine use. More on the excellent dog with the big ears. I think we can always just have that picture again. Look at it there. Cash backers stick with GB News after Neil quits. GB News investors have thrown their support behind the beleaguered channel after Andrew Neil and several senior producers resigned. Could this be because the money that's going into GB News is being pumped in there for reasons other than creating a channel that is successful? Yes. MPs fight Ofcom role for ex-editor. Julian Knight, the chairman of the Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee, said candidates who had already been deemed inappropriate should not be deemed should not be involved in the recruitment process for the new chair of Ofcom. Former journalist Knight worked at the BBC for several years. Bit of a smear there by the Times. The protracted hunt for the new chairman of Ofcom, media regulator, is a new twist. Paul Dacre should be blocked, is what MP said. Dacre is regarded as the government's preferred choice, but he was rejected by an interview panel. Ministers decided to restart the hiring process in May rather than accept another candidate deemed appropriate by the panel. A fresh job advert is being prepared, but Knight said the documents reviewed by the committee did not include a statement making clear that failed candidates need not apply. That's because they're going to force Dacre through. Any journalist fired for cocaine use. Funny that, isn't it? I still think my plan to swab all the bathrooms at the Daily Mail's headquarters is a good one. Practice what you preach, lads. David Aronovich submits a column that honestly you could have written by taking alphabeti spaghetti and just tossing it at a wall, and you get this: institutional cowardice is killing free speech. Oh yes, it's another free speech column. And the deck says self-censorship has become a creeping menace as companies and arts bodies capitulate to every strident demand. I'm not going to go through more of it because you literally know what he says already. Laura Freeman, meanwhile, is on the Instagram thing. Instagram wants to monetize your misery. Children must be protected from tech giants that only care about selling us lifestyle dreams. What do you think the Times does every day in the Times too, and at weekends with vast supplements? They sell you lifestyle dreams. The main issue that newspapers have, and listen, the Instagram is absolute cesspit in many ways. Facebook is a disgusting company in many ways. But the notion that newspapers are morally superior or have any position to judge on these things is ludicrous. Thank you for the redeeming the hydration. Royal flush. I did need that. Janice Turner's awful. There's a line in her column about I can't eat before 7 p.m. I'm not a farmer. It's a joke from 30 Rock that she's lifted, but I think she actually thinks that. C122, H122. Who knew Instagram sells misery? Yeah. Ian Martin, meanwhile, writes his one column again, this time about how Brexit's really good. Pay rises for low earners show Brexit is working, he says. He says this while the shelves rapidly empty. Chronotherm, Instagram monetizes misery, the Tories politicise it. Yeah, and frankly, if it wasn't Instagram making teenage girls and teenagers in general feel like shit, it would be the magazines that these companies used to make, but don't have the monopoly over that misery anymore. Fucking horseshit. Right, today's birthdays. Kenny Jones, the drummer from the Small Faces and The Who, is 73. Carl Andre, the sculptor, is 86. Dame Sarah Asplin, Lady Justice of the Appeal, is 62. Professor Charles Bean, economist, deputy governor for monetary policy at the Bank of England until 2014, is 68. Liz Bonin, TV presenter for Countrywise, is 45. Belinda Butcher, the excellent guitarist and singer from My Bloody Valentine, is 60. Simon Carter, chief executive of British Land, is 46. David Copperfield, the illusionist, is 65. Julia Donaldson, writer of The Gruffalo, amongst other things, and children's laureate until 2013, is 73. Fan Bingbing, the actress, is 40. Stephen Farthing, the painter and art historian, is 71. Dame Amelia Fawcett, chairwoman of the Royal Botanic Gardens Kew Standards Board for Alternative Investments until 2020, is 65. Justine Frischmann, musician, Elastica frontwoman, and artist, is 52. She's excellent. Dame Clara Furs, chairwoman of HSBC, chief executive of London Stock Exchange until 2009, is 64. Lloyd Grossman, who would have a birthday like this? is 71. Dame Deirdre Hine, president of the British Medical Association until 2006, is 84. Andy Irvine, the rugby union player for Scotland, is 70. Sir Norman Lamb, the Lib Dem MP for North Norfolk until 2019, is 64. Professor Gillian Leng, the chief executive of the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, is 61. Nice, in fact, but not for the age, just for the place she works. Lord Mark Malloch Brown, the board member of the UN Foundation Board and president of the of the Open Society Foundations, is 68. Katie Melua, the singer, is 37. Judith Miller, the antiques expert, is 70. Claire Morrow, chairwoman of Betty's and Taylors, is 61. Dara Nasser, the managing director of Twitter UK, is 46. Mickey Rourke, the actor, is 69. Nice. Dame Stephanie Shirley, the IT entrepreneur, is 88. Tulip Siddiq, the Labour MP for Hampstead and Kilburn and Shadow Education Minister, is 39. Neville Southall, the goalkeeper for Wales until 1997, is 63. On this day in 1861, the Post Office Savings Bank was established. In 1969, it was transferred from the Post Office to the Treasury. The last word goes to Benazir Bhutto, the politician, in a speech to Harvard University in 1989. Where she said, democracy needs support, and the best support for democracy comes from other democracies. In corrections and clarifications today, a diary item wrongly said that Viscount Portman was convicted of an anti-Semitic hate crime. It should have referred to his son, Piers Portman. We apologise for the error. Happy birthday to Blader Butcher and also to Big Nev. Yes, I agree with that, Pantomime Horse. In the world news, tit-for-tat missile launches intensify Korean arms race. This happens regularly. Al-Qaeda regroups amid Afghan chaos to plan US attacks. Where's that coming from? Well, US intelligence, I suspect. Katie Melua, only 5,999,963 years short of having a bicycle in Beijing for every year of her age. The bell from, says Chronotherm, bell from Columbus's voyage to America may ring for up to £60 million. Sorry, $60 million. Armin Laschet, the Christian Democratic Union leader and candidate for Chancellor of Germany, was awkward during a grilling by two 11-year-olds on German television. Clips gone viral when the discussion turned to gay marriage. Romeo, 11, asked why he was against men marrying each other. Laschet denied having said that, but Romeo referred to an interview in Spiegel magazine. You already read Spiegel so long ago, Laschet said with sarcasm. Romeo replied, I googled it. The latest polls show that the CDU coalition is narrowing the gap with the Social Democratic Party. French need to talk about banning the name Kevin, apparently. A far-right polemicist who is expected to run for the presidency has called for a ban on foreign-sounding names such as Mohammed, Jordan, and Kevin. Mark Canosis says, lol, CDU, get it right up, you Operation Gladio cunts. SK the Crusader, love them ass off those kids are better journalists than 98% of UK journalists. Accurate. Simon Nixon in the business column says, stagflation stalks the economy and there is no get out of jail free card. More going on about Thatcher, of course. In the obituaries today, Major Stuart Sirad, Special Boat Squadron commander who won an MC during Suez and went on a 2,500-mile expedition up the Amazon by hovercraft. He has died 88, undisclosed causes. Slinkermeyer, I'm surprised they picked Kevin from that list. Isn't that, yeah? I.e. Islamophobia, exactly. 11-year-old showing up Laura Koonsberg. Easily done, isn't it, Cronenberg? Carolyn Shoemaker, housewife turned astronomer who discovered the Shoemaker-Levy 9 comet and traced its epic collision with Jupiter in 1994, has died. She was 92. And Fritz McIntyre, keyboardist for Simply Red, who co-wrote some of their best-known songs before leaving and becoming a born-again Christian, has died. He was 62. And finally, Louis Andriessen, the iconoclastic, noisy, and influential Dutch composer who called himself a maximalist, has died. He had dementia and he died aged 82. Do the French hate Home Alone? There's some gags in there, I think. Sport, athletics is tying itself in knots on intersex debate, says Rick Broadbent. Loopholes in the rules are leading growing confusion in the sport and world records. More well, barely disguised transphobia in there. After missing mark with Murray, LTA banks on a Raducanu bounce. Hamilton injury is for show, says Red Bull advisor. Red Bull have questioned the injury suffered by Lewis Hamilton in his crash with Max Verstappen, and said that the Mercedes driver exaggerating the damage to his neck. He had his car on top of him. Come on. Saracen's still a fourth, but lack depth, claims Owen Slot. Rick Broadbent says the US don't care about the Ryder Cup. Rubbish. Coaching guru Pete Cowan says conditions will be key to halting an American charge. Mike Atkins says game offers hope in Afghanistan. Don't shut the door. They're talking about cricket in Afghanistan. Birmingham City 1, Fulham 4. Mitrovic puts Fulham back on top. Derby to lose 9 points after financial irregularities. Grealish shows he belongs on the big stage. Man City 6, RB Leipzig 3. Club Bruges versus PSG. Messi and All-Star cast kept quiet by bullish Bruges. Liverpool 3, AC Milan 2. Liverpool produced another remarkable rally. And on the back page, Henderson stunning strikes saves Liverpool. Flickermeyer says, not a day in the British press without a healthy dollop of transphobia. It's not. That is the Times. I don't know. There's some animal stories in there. I'd say a minus 69, minus 69, minus 68. So a triple negative nice with a +1. Okay, and finally we come to the Daily Mail. Flinkermeyer gives the Times a quadruple negative nice. Mark Nosis says the animal stories and the Andreessen obit. The Andreessen obit is good. Is good. The thing about Times is they do write pretty good obituaries generally. Just shame about the rest of the paper. Right, Daily Mail front page. Of course they're heavy on the RSI kicking in here. Daily Mail, of course, they're heavy on the royal stories. High Court humbles Andrew over sex case. Papers, again, described as a sex case. Charles Charity Chiefs quit over cash for access. My man's corrupt. And airbrushed Harry is global icon. And, of course, the main story is the reshuffle, which they refer to as Boris wields the axe. And a cull of failing ministers. Of course, I would like to see Gavin Williamson culled in a Minecraft simulation. And on the right-hand side, enter new Queens of the Jungle. Of course, weirdly sexist coverage of women getting top jobs. Awful women, but women nonetheless. Slinkermeyer, sex case sounds like a euphemism for a nympho. Yeah, if only that were the case. Graham, 4313. I watch the stream as I don't ever touch ever have to touch the Daily Mail again. Yeah, that's one of the services I provide here. On page 3 of the Daily Mail, of course, they go for the same headline as the other one. Airbrushed Duke. Sussexes make the cover of Time, but just how much were photos retouched? All photos on magazines are retouched. Shut up. On pages 4 and 5, nowhere to hide for Andrew after he's accused of ducking and diving. Bombshell for Duke, as High Court says it will serve US sex assault case on him. Good. Their coverage of the reshuffle from Andrew Pearce, the awful Andrew Pearce. New Queens of the Jungle. Foreign Secretary who campaigned for end of monarchy was at Greenham age 7 and called Britain idlers. And culture boss who wade into woke wars and was suspended by Tories for going on I'm a Celebrity. There's so much more about Nadine Dorries. She is a piece of work, mate. Mark Canosa's sex case is a little box with a clasp where you keep your condoms, lubes, etc. Should be, shouldn't it? They call Gavin Williamson a slithering python who failed the grade. Accurate. And say Rob, the Karate Kid, was a casualty of Karate Kid. Shut up. More coverage of the reshuffle, pages 10 and 11. Enter the executioner. Minute by minute, amid tears and triumph, how Boris orchestrated cabinet bloodbath. There was no... the tears is a load of bullshit made up by the Express. Rapidly deleted, but carried in here a lot. Education brief for former child refugee is how they rate Nadeem Zahawi becoming the education secretary. They could also say for co-founder of YouGov, who once said that families appreciate having to pay for school dinners, and Gove dances off to sort out housing. Yeah, right. More attacks on Jess Brammer. Outspoken critic gets top BBC News job. Good day to bury bad news. Story 1, they say. And police acts pro into Bashir's Diana interview. As eco-zealots block M25 again and cause serious crash. They didn't cause the crash. They didn't cause the crash. The crash happened in a different location. Woke officer turns to mob and says, just let us know if there's anything you need. Call that policing. Remember, the Mail is anti-police at the moment, only because of Cressida Dick, not because it's suddenly decided that we live in a carceral nightmare. On pages 16 and 17... Oh, on page 16, Stephen Glover, the most zombie-looking motherfucker in the British press, makes Boris Johnson sound like a well-timbered Zorro. A flash of steel, deadwood gone at last. Is it enough for the hard road ahead? Guess what? He says no. On page 17, Elvis for sale. He's Britain's #1 Presley fan, who even the King admired. But now as he struggles to sell the official fan club, will it all end in heartbreak? Yeah, probably. 19 maternity baby deaths rose 88% in lockdown. Watchdog says drop in face-to-face appointments hindered care. And they obviously go big on the very rare vaccine blood clots thing. On page 21, mystery of the 33,000 emails linked to a £90 million COVID deals in Tory peers' private account. I'm sure that'll disappear. Tom Hiddleston is now apparently going out with Zora Ashton. They link it to when he kissed Taylor Swift 5 years ago, because that's not weird, is it? Some good-ish news in the case of as they pursue the murderers of my friend Lyra McKee. 4 arrested over Lyra shooting. She was of course shot in London Derry as it should be, but this is the Daily Mail. Derry in April 2019 as she observed rioting in the Craigan area. The new IRA said it was responsible for the killing. Men aged 19, 20, 21 and 23 were arrested. Another man has already been charged with the murder and denies the charge. On pages 26 and 27, more on James Bond. No Time to Die, picture exclusive. It's literally just various Aston Martins that they used in the shooting. How many Aston Martins go in the line of fire to shoot a Bond movie? 10. 29, page 29, they cover the Shamima Begum story in exactly the same as everywhere else. On page 28, highly unusual, more entries in vegan category than any other at famed pie contest in Melton Mowbray. Fine, vegan pies are delicious. Pages 30 and 31. She's known to millions as Mick's ex, but her true claim to fame is her tireless campaigning for fellow Latin Americans under the jackboot of its ruling tyrants. This horrific account eloquently portrays my terror as dictator death squad threatened to kill me by Bianca Jagger. Did you know that Milo Yiannopoulos worked for Bianca Jagger for some time? And redacted. On this day, September 16th, 2021, from the Daily Mail archive, in the year 2000, the Daily Mail wrote, "It's over. After 63 days in which it enthralled and horrified the public, Channel 4's Big Brother has ended. 10 strangers have been locked in a house in East London and filmed constantly while viewers voted every week to evict one of them, until one was left to claim a £70,000 prize. Just before 11 p.m. last night, 7.5 million viewers chose the winner, Liverpudlian Craig Phillips." On September the 16th, 2008, the momentous impact of Meltdown Monday will hit every saver, pensions investors and homeowner in Britain, experts warned last night. Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, and a stockbroker, Merrill Lynch, has agreed to a cut-price takeover. They also say happy birthday to Katie Melua, 37, and George Chakiris, the Greek-American actor, won an Oscar for his role as Bernardo, the leader of the Sharks, in 1961's West Side Story. He swapped the silver screen for sterling silver jewellery, selling it for £170 to £5,400 a piece. So that's what he does now. Andrew Bonar Law The Canadian-born son of Scottish clergyman became the shortest-serving Prime Minister on the 20th century, resigned after just 211 days due to ill health and died of throat cancer 6 months later. At his funeral in Westminster Abbey, Herbert Asquith said the unknown Prime Minister was being buried by the side of the unknown soldier. That was he was born 1858, died 1923. And Sir Alexander Corder, 1893 to 1956, the first British film producer to receive a knighthood, was a master at raising money for movies, paid his stars handsomely. He once quipped, "The art of filmmaking is to come to the brink of bankruptcy and stare it in the face." Corder, who married and divorced actresses Maria Farkas and Merle Oberon, signed up Marlene Dietrich, Lawrence Arabia, and Vivian Leigh as head of London Films. On September the 16th, in 1977, T-Rex lead singer and songwriter Mark Bolan died in a car crash, aged 29. And in 1981, the BBC's Postman Pat first aired. Quote of the day. This is not a quote of the day. This is a song lyric. Kurt Cobain, "I'd rather be dead than cool." It's not a literal quote. It's a cynical one from a song. You fucking idiots. Joke of the day. What kind of felines go bowling? Alley cats. On page 33, even ravaged by cancer, Terry Lubbock still fought for justice for the son who died in Barrymore's swimming pool. Now, as he slips away after a 20-year crusade, the father who died of a broken heart. Really disgusting coverage there from the Daily Mail. Red 60, you're right. It's technically a quote, but the thing about quote of the day is that it's about, like, this is something someone meant, usually means quite literally. Pulling it out of a song, it takes it from its context, and anyway, whatever. Daisy Lowe, a swimming costume once worn by Daisy Lowe, who's only 32, is going to be in an exhibition. Mark Canosis, I mean, we know Kurt's lyrics weren't always sincere. He definitely did have a gun. That's correct. Set to fetch £15,000, Amy's dress from her final show. It's a bamboo and floral print halter mini dress signed by Amy Winehouse's stylist Naomi Parry could fetch up to £15,000 at a charity auction of her personal items. In the female section of the magazine, sex toys arrive in the post, erotica lines her bookshelves, and her nude photo is framed in a famous members club as the cult hit Sex Education returns. The excruciating reality of having a sexpert for a mum. Guess who wrote this? Devon.
Sorry, what?
The excruciating reality of having a sexpert for a mum. Guess who wrote it?
Fuck knows.
We know her. She's our friend.
What's that?
Rowan wrote it.
Oh! That's good.
Yeah, anyway. I like Rowan. Rowan's nice. Rowan Pelling wrote that. She's really cool. Shame it's in the mail, but where you go. And the pull quote from this, from her son Scobie. At age 14, you'd rather your parent was a criminal than someone your friends could look at semi-naked. Fair enough, he said. I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me, Scobie, 17. By the time I was 11, I was awkwardly tiptoeing around questions surrounding my mum's occupation. School friends had seen her on TV or heard her on the radio, where she always seemed to be talking about sex and would bombard me with questions about her job. I never budged on my answer. She's a journalist. A job title, I hope, would distract from her ventures in erotic literature and sex advice. Well, there you go. Anyway, Rowan's cool. On page 40, should pill packets warn women not to leave it too late? Amanda Platel says no. Melanie McDonough says yes. I think women already know, and I think it would be fucking weird. They've got an A to Z of fashion, which is odd. On page 42, when will tech tyrants stop wrecking our teenagers' lives? This from the Daily Mail in a section called Female, where it regularly makes women feel bad about their bodies and their lives and everything around them. Fuck you. Imagine writing in the Daily Mail and thinking you've got the moral high ground. And talking about smug people who think the moral high ground, it's Jenny Murray, unleashed and uncensored. She writes, so foolish for burying my head in sand over burdens of age. Why are stars scraping the bottom of the fashion barrel? And she writes about the passing of her little dog. Always happening, a dog dies. It is genuinely. I love dogs. On pages 48 and 49, the dads diagnosed with deliverer PTSD, and no, not because they're overly sensitive, but because they watched the traumatic bursts that threatened the lives of their partners and babies. Okay. How about the Mail encourage tech tyrants to pay their fucking taxes, says Slinkermeyer. Agree. On page 51, why can't middle-class women like me sack their cleaners, even when they're hopeless like mine? Oh, tiny violin problems here. Jane Green writes, she spent the summer buying cheap clothes she'd seen online, only for the outfits to arrive and look nothing like the advert. In a hilarious mea culpa, novelist Jane Green laments, it didn't look like this in the picture. Shut up. Rhett Hickseed, what do Mick Wright and Ian Austin both have in common? They both love dogs. I, in a very normal way, and Ian Austin in a redacted. In the blind date today, it's a lesser spotted lesbian blind date in the Daily Mail between Lucy 35, well maybe bisexual blind date. I made an assumption there. Lesbian / bisexual blind date between Lucy 35 and Joe 40. Lucy's verdict: it was a relaxed evening, no regrets. And they had coffee as friends. Joe's verdict: she liked Lucy's authenticity. She had no regrets, and they both had coffee as friends. So yeah, lovely, very nice. Slinkermeyer, don't like the implication that people with PTSD are being dramatic. Me neither. Me neither. Red Tixie says, me and Ian Austin have in common, we both wear glasses. Well, that is something, isn't it? Cashmere jumpers for sale, £49 each, available in pink flambe, navy, black, lavendula, marble, brown sugar, cream, ice blue, merle, and powder blue. Gavin Wynne Jones, I didn't like her because she reads the Daily Mail. Pick of the day: All Creatures Great and Small, 9 p.m, Channel 5, as I say, if you crave death. And the TV reviews: Fred and Rose West reopened, 3 stars, and The Man Putin Couldn't Kill, also 3 stars. In the cartoons today, Garfield can't decide if he wants to stay out or stay in or go out, so he goes and lies on the edge of the doorway. In Chloe and Co, they're actually stood up, and they're talking about their weight, but there are no men there and they're not drinking. Fred Bassett is driving along and with his family in the car, and they ask for some directions, and Fred is annoyed that the man who gives them directions isn't clear enough. Right, get ready for today's poem. It's truly horrendous. Today's poem, Pleasings. This is from Mike Main of Lincoln. Pleasings is not a word. It's something that is never heard. In fact, it is really quite absurd, but it comes and goes like a swooping bird. When your dog brings you back the ball, when a lasting friend gives you a call, when you trip but you don't quite fall, they're happy things you can recall. When you've got your umbrella out in the rain, when you're about to catch the earlier train, when you hear a lark in the country lane, these memories add to a joyful gain. When your mother hugged you with a smile, when you see your first snowdrop for a while, when a long, long journey has just one more mile, these are pleasings that make you smile. Please God, let it end soon. Limerick comes from Robert Ben Nathan of Buckinghamshire. Yes, Boris, we know you're sincere in spite of your budget severe, but please compensate before it's too late and kick HS2 out of here. Boom, boom. Jesus. And finally, Mrs. Mayor Tovey of Swansea says, in the rhyme for our time, Michael Gove came out to play in Aberdeen club. He danced away. His legs they kicked, his arms did flay when Michael Gove came out to play. I don't know what to tell you. These people should be in prison. Right, straight to the point letters. Here we go. M. Busby often turns up in these letters, says, with Dame Cressida Dick given 2 extra years as Met Police Commissioner, would some say lessons have not been learned? Michael True says, the requirement for electric car charging points at all new homes appears counter to the environmental impact of paving front gardens for car parking. Roland Griffiths says, all new houses should have solar panels. Alan Adshead of Kent says, those who criticise the government over migrants should be having to go at France for allowing them to be exploited by traffickers. Fran Hubbard writes, David Abulafir's article exposing the Winston Churchill Memorial Trust removing pictures of his namesake from his website and rebranding itself the Churchill Fellowship debunked the rantings of the woke brigade. What, the woke brigade, like his literal grandsons, former Tory MP Nicholas Soames, and the actual chairman of the charity? What the fuck are you talking about? Roy Lowe of Blackburn, Lancashire, where they have many holes, says, everyone's paying £1 a week to support the NHS. Would be a drop in the ocean. By my calculations, the NHS budget equates to nearly £32 a week for every man, woman and child in this country. Yeah, Roy, your calculations are whatever. Vincent Hefter turns up on this page often every day of the week. He must be pumping out letters to these people. Vincent Hefter says, Bob Ross in The Joy of Painting. Who knew watching paint dry could be so compulsive? Vincent, please reach out to what family you have. And finally, W.R. Brown says, why are men's trousers sold only in even waist number sizes? With a 33-inch waist, I've either got to put on some weight or lose it. Or, mate, buy a belt. Right, moving on. Today's recipe, quick chicken souvlaki. I mean, it looks alright, to be honest. Still trying to get you to go on cruises. Still trying to persuade you that magnetic bracelets can save you from everything. Still trying to sell you strange hoovers. Here's a really ugly thing. Today's ugly thing, a Ford Mustang Boss 429 watch. Only 1,969 available worldwide. Officially licensed by Ford and guaranteed to repel anyone. Yours for £199.95. Red Tixie says, fair enough, Vincent. Bob Ross is nice to watch. Stop writing to them out. Fluff Weasel, you are right. The poetry section is often the worst thing in there. Very ugly watch. Today, you can also get ugly chino trousers today. Just £45 a pair in stone green, tan, sage, sand or navy. Perfect for the guy in your life who can't stop going on about his classic car. In the business news, sky-high prices of labour, cyber attacks up give Dark Trace a sales boost, plumbing tycoon to sell stake in £100 million empire. The plumbing tycoon in question is Charlie Mullins, the ever-meltingly faced Charlie Mullins. Grey M4313 says, shit watch to show you have too much spare money. Yeah. They want you to go on a cruise featuring Russell Watson, Lulu, and comedy legend Jimmy Tarbuck. Again, a cruise for people who wish to embrace the sweet, sweet release of death. And on the back page, again, it's Jordan Henderson. Jordan Stunner seals another Reds revival against Milan, the comeback kid, and football set to trial first match with no heading. Right, that is the Daily Mail. Awful as ever. I don't know. Sectuple negative nice. Minus 69, minus 69, minus 69, minus 69, minus 69, minus 69. I'm just looping. Could do that all day. Right, well, thank you for joining me today. Give me your scores for the Daily Mail. Thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow is Friday, I believe. I think. It is. It is Friday. And that means it will be a magazine special. If you want to contribute to the paper fund, throw some coins in there and tell me what magazine you want me to cover. I will do that. My t-shirt says Nerf Herder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to say it's a non-tuple negative nice from Slinker Meyer for that. Yes, so it'll be a magazine special tomorrow. So 3 papers, 1 magazine. Only 1 leaves. No, it's not like that. Red Tick-Seed in with a classic quadruple negative nice, similarly recursive Rosie with that. So yeah, do consider throwing some coins into the paper fund and telling me what magazine you want me to do tomorrow, and I'll get it if I can get it. Mark Anosis, Nerf Herder, I remember them from early 2000s Kerrang. Yeah, although in fact this is not a Nerf Herder the band t-shirt, just a Nerf Herder the phrase from Star Wars t-shirt. which mainly I wear now because kid in the room still likes Star Wars, and I do like it quite a bit. I'm mainly banned from wearing t-shirts with pictures from cartoons or films on them by a person in the room. Sensibly, I'm a 37-year-old man. I need to grow up. C122H122 has a small dog who is wonderful. Well, that's nice. Do you like small dogs? Okay, so... do join me tomorrow at 1 p.m. And if you're watching this on YouTube, and please do, it's very helpful to me, do like, subscribe, and do all the other stuff. That's all good. Right. And last of all, if you're watching live now and you haven't yet joined the Discord, let me give you... I would wear that t-shirt, Red Tick Seeds. I do need to get a Podcasting as Praxis t-shirt as well, because I just have not got one yet. I really like the Normal Island one, which I should have got before. Anyway, join the Discord if you haven't yet. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. And like I say, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It does help. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Catch me on the Discord or on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. Bye-bye for now.